Hi, I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com. If you came here about stocks, which is what I usually do on this channel, this is just about cockroaches, so you can go on your way. Now, everybody else, I don't want to waste your time either. Now, in the end, I am going to try and sell you something, but I don't want to mislead you, so I'm telling you that up front. Or you can make this yourself, and I do tell you how. The trick, of course, is that I don't give you actually all the ingredients. I'll give you two of them right now. Peanut butter mixed with boric acid. Okay, if that's all you want from this, you can close the video and go your way. Of course, it won't work very well. There is one more secret ingredient, and that's what I sell, basically, is the mixture that contains that ingredient. But maybe from the information I give you, you can figure it out. So if you want to stick around, you'll learn a few things about how you get ripped off by pest controllers and a few other things. I trained through Purdue University, and I do know what I'm doing when it comes to pest control. Though, of course, I prefer to make my living as a day trader, which is what this channel is really all about. So quickly, here's what I'll cover in this video: how some PCs or pest controllers rip you off, why sprays don't work, why plain boric acid doesn't work, and how to make your own roach bait that'll last up to 2 years. And finally, where you can buy my secret sauce, ready-made roach bait that really works. All you got to do is mix in some boric acid, okay? At a minimum, the video is very informative. Stay or go away. We get into neurobiology a little bit and so on. Yeah, I had most of my life I spent as a physician, but that doesn't necessarily qualify me to kill cockroaches, for crying out loud. I'll keep it simple because that's the way I can understand it. First off, you ever notice how you have to keep paying an exterminator to come back out and come back out every few months, and it really never takes care of the problem? Well, okay, what I'm going to show you solves the problem for up to 2 years, and it's cheap. I mean, you can make enough to treat 3 houses for about, probably $10. Okay, here is the problem, or the racket, as we say in the pest control business. Sprays break down from attack by air and ultraviolet light, in other words, daylight. And the air contains moisture, which contains humidity, which enables acid attack, okay? So, the sprays don't last. Pest controllers know that. You got your 3 basic types of sprays here: your knockdowns, your growth inhibitors, and your egg killers. Now, they tend not to use these together. In fact, some of them don't even work well together. Now, the growth inhibitors, generally speaking, prevent the roach from developing sexually, so they can't reproduce. But that doesn't do anything about the existing eggs in the nest or colony. And your knockdowns only work if the roach is sprayed directly or if they walk on it. Likewise, egg killers require direct contact with the spray. You're getting the picture here of how you get ripped off. The guy comes out, or the woman comes out, they spray some stuff, and you see this spectacular roach kill all over the place, except it's only hitting the ones that were exposed or who come out and are stupid enough to walk in it. Then, and I've had this happen to me before I studied at Purdue, they tell you, they say, look, it's very complicated, this whole reproductive cycle, and I'm going to have to come back. Well, it's $95 when they first came. Maybe they charge you another $65 to go with the growth inhibitor, and then they got to come back a couple weeks later with the egg killer, another $65. So already you're up to $225, and that's just the beginning. In about 3 months, you got to start over. How come? Hey, there's my logo for the company. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, time is the enemy. That's what's going on here. As they spray the knockdown, then the roaches die, the ones that are walking around, the adults. But that still leaves the eggs in the nest and the younger roaches who aren't walking around. So, Meanwhile, the spray is breaking down. Time is the enemy. And when they do finally come out, guess what? The spray doesn't work so well. I mean, what's on the surface? Then they come along with the growth inhibitor. And the reason that's a problem is because these adult egg-laying roaches are already capable of laying eggs. And they've laid a bunch of eggs. So your growth inhibitor hits the juveniles who are in between, but you still got the grown-ups and the babies in the egg cases who are going to come out, and they're going to reproduce. See, there's a hardwired neurobiological DNA thing with pest controllers that has to do with their own reproduction. That's right. In particular, it's with the reproduction inside their bank account. I hate a crook, in case you haven't guessed by now. Now, there are pest controllers and big companies who will sign you up to a contract where you pay so much every month and you're bound to it. They tie up your credit card or your bank account or whatever. And guess what? By some miracle, the treatment actually works. Why? Because they don't want to have to come out and do a lot of work to deal with it. They know how to fix the problem, but they don't fix the problem. Unless you sign up for that contract, which is going to cost you serious money. So, how do you get out of this? Well, you do it yourself. You can try plain boric acid powder, okay? Which kind of works. You sprinkle it around. You know, you've used it before. But you've also noticed it really doesn't work that well. It kind of keeps the population down to a dull roar. You ever wonder why that is? It's because cockroaches can smell it. So the little buggers avoid walking in it if they can. They may have touched it before, so they develop what's called behavioral resistance, okay? Not biological resistance, because a cockroach, after millions of years, still has not developed biological resistance to boric acid. But they do have behavioral resistance. They avoid that stuff. They might get a little sick when they walk in it one time, so the next time they smell it, they stay away from it. Some of them get killed by it, but the ones who don't get killed by it, they have this kind of behavioral resistance, and who knows, they may be teaching the other roaches to avoid the stuff too. You like my cockroach there? You like that one? I think that's pretty cool. All right, so this whole thing comes down to neurobiology. They use their antennae to smell the boric acid. What you want to do is confuse the neuroreceptors in that antennae and confuse the roach into thinking this is safe to eat. See, walking in it is kind of a slow death. It gradually cuts through the cuticle and the roach dehydrates and dies. What you want them to do is eat it. That kills them faster. Okay, just like diatomaceous earth, you can try that. Hey, I wouldn't. It works some, but not like what I'm going to tell you. Now here's where the rubber meets the road. It's boric acid plus peanut butter. Roaches love peanut butter, but you got to mix in some boric acid. And one other thing that you almost undoubtedly have already in your house, and roaches love that too. And in fact, what happens is it confuses their olfactory sense so that they cannot smell the boric acid. Yes, you can try the boric acid peanut butter mixture, and that may work a little bit, but probably not so well. You need this extra ingredient or they really won't gobble it up. So you could experiment. You could perform certain neurobiological experiments and see what will confuse the roach's sense of smell so they cannot smell the boric acid. That's an approach, and it's a worthwhile scientific endeavor. And by the way, there are multiple ordinary household things that you have there that will accomplish this goal. So go ahead and experiment if that's your flavor. Now, some of the things you try will turn out to be repellents, and that's not going to kill the nest for you. What you want to have happen is for the roach to eat it and some of them to die on the spot, and you want some of them to survive long enough to walk back to the nest, vomit, defecate, and die there, and the other roaches will eat the vomit, they will eat the feces, and they will cannibalize the dead roach, and that will kill the colony. Now, I will give you one secret. If you're going to experiment, what you want to use, and this is like an EPA minimum by weight, you can buy something similar to this. It's a paste that's on the market. There are different brands of it. And the minimum for the EPA is like, I believe, 34 or 35% by weight boric acid. So that's like a secret clue that the effective concentration should be at least that. I recommend equal weight, 50-50, boric acid to peanut butter. Plus, of course, my secret ingredient once you figure out a secret ingredient that will work. Now what you want to do is get a bowl, put the peanut butter in it, put the boric acid in it, wear a face mask, one of those face masks that you can buy in the store, and mix it together. You want to get yourself a very stout, like plastic covered glove to work it. And it's really best to mix this stuff outside if you can, because boric acid is very light and fluffy. It'll fly around, might give you respiratory problems. You don't want to get it in your eyes. I mean, just read the label on the boric acid. It'll explain it to you. That stuff only costs about $2 or $3 for a 1 pound bottle in the hardware or, you know, the dollar store or whatever it is. Alright, once you got your mixture and your secret ingredient, what you want to do is take about a tablespoonful and jam it down into some cracks inside the cupboards, behind the stove or refrigerator or something like that, any cracks or crevices, and in the bathroom, in the little cabinet there or something like that. You just want to put it someplace where pets and children won't get to it. Altogether, you're just going to smear it down in cracks and crevices in maybe a half dozen places or so, and you're going to be done. Take you about 10 minutes. I know, because this is what I use when I go out doing retail pest control here in Albuquerque. And man, have we got roaches in Albuquerque. Alright, that's the secret of how you get ripped off and how to beat it. Okay, this stuff will last you about 2 years. Now, if you are not, oops, let me pause that. And here's an important warning. Keep it away from children and pets. Dogs will eat it. I don't know about cats and other pets, but dogs for sure. Keep it away from pets and children. In other words, don't put it down in exposed places. Now, if you would rather order it from me at Mega Roachkill, here's what you do. You go out to MRKvideo.com and place your order. Don't worry about writing it down. I'll show you a screen in a minute with it. And here's what will happen. Your order goes out with the paste, no boric acid in it, by priority mail, okay, and you get it right away. You take it and you've already got some boric acid powder, you know, like I say, it costs you $2 or $3. And you mix it, as I said, in a bowl, you know, but you would mix it together and put it down. And here again is where you can order that. It's at MRKroachkill.com, and if you have questions, feel free to give me a call. Oh, a couple other things. When you mix it, make sure you break up all the little tiny beads about the size of a BB that form when you're trying to mix it. Make sure you break all that up. That's why you have a good sturdy plastic coated glove that you're mixing in the bowl with. Now the reason I don't pre-mix the boric acid for you is very simple. It's a pesticide, and until I have the mixture EPA registered, I cannot distribute the mixture because it contains boric acid, and when you distribute a pesticide, It has to be in its original container. Okay, so in other words, I can't do that for you. You have to mix the boric acid in yourself. That's how this works. Okay, it's not hard, and you'll be glad you did. So again, MegaRoachKill.com. Thanks for stopping by. I hope this was at least informative and useful to you.